What's going on, y'all? It is Kojin here, and today we're going to be exploring the maps. We're just going to be doing this relatively quickly just so that you guys can get a quick glance at what's going on here, and also so that way I can kind of talk about what my expectations and what my speculations are. I know that a lot of people typically don't do that when it comes to these kind of MMOs, but I just think that a quick video on speculation as to what exactly is happening in WonderKing is always good because it's in its infancy, and I think that just getting the conversation out there is so important so that people can kind of understand why exactly it's not coming to the West quite yet, and there's a reason why they haven't really announced a date either. So this will really give you an idea as to why, and they're heavily developing WonderKing because over the past month or two they have been dropping in so much new content. For people who started playing right around the 8-month mark ago, that's when they released the game to the public. You can play outside of Korea. They only had areas up to level 650 readily available. Since then they have been expanding the game and they've added in 7 new areas. Not only that, but several extensions to other maps as well. As you can see here, we have extended Helen, we've got the Frost Cavern, we've got Prunus Mines, we've got Nagfa Swamp, we've got White Village, we've got Wonder Farm, and then we've got Dashburten territory, and then we've got the Dashburten Estate, which these two were just added in this recent update on the 2nd of this year. So this is the first update of 2025. So I really wanted to go ahead and just kind of break down exactly what's going on in these maps. And for people who have not played WonderKing, this will give you a really good basis as to what exactly kind of game WonderKing is headed in and what direction it used to be in first. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history of WonderKing first. So WonderKing pretty much at first, it was a grinding game that was really competitive with MapleStory back in the day. Back then, WonderKing was really well known because it had the best movement system, it had double jumping, and not only that, but the class switching. It wasn't nearly as tough to deal with the class switching, I should say. So typically when you're dealing with class switching back then, it would take you probably like an hour or two comparatively to, you know, in MapleStory where you would spend a few hours trying to get through class changes back in the day. This is back in 2007, 2008, and you know, you would spend a lot of time grinding mobs one by one in both of these games until you pretty much leveled up. I would say that WonderKing was a much faster game back then because there wasn't really much to do in WonderKing besides, you know, PvP and then do your dailies, and then you would go grind out in the wild, which grinding in the wild required a massive amount of CP. WonderKing has pretty much continued on that track, and not only that, but I think that they have done a really good job of adding in some new additions, and they've also stripped a lot of additions away. Things like PvP mining had recently just returned back to WonderKing, and I'm hoping that, you know, they do bring back a lot of those systems that they had in the older version to a refined stance in the newer game. It's really right now where this game kind of is heading is a mixture between, I would say, like MapleStory Dungeon Fighter Online kind of mixture, where you fight a lot of bosses, you fight a lot of monsters, and you do a lot of field grinding to scavenge for materials. But I think that they're doing this in a way to where it's a bit more progressive. But not only that, they do offer a lot of free fashion sets and things like that, because fashion sets in this game are really important comparatively to MapleStory. In MapleStory, they don't have or carry any stats most of the time. In this game, all fashion carries some sort of stat, and they all are in somewhat of a tier together. So that's kind of like what not necessarily makes a difference between most characters, but the fashion set does matter. But once you hit the end game, like eventually your fashion set will become a minuscule part as to why you're actually strong. Most people would just buy fashion in this game to either, you know, help progress quicker or, you know, to have an easier time playing whatever class they're playing. Because some people might start off with a cleric or a priest, and you know, they won't be doing a whole lot of damage, so they'll get a fashion set. Or, you know, you might be a ninja and you're just like, hey, I want to burst through the game. However you decide to do it, either way is a acceptable way. And I will also say that in general, a lot of players aren't really too fashion set savvy, you know what I mean? Like, they don't want to go out and buy the latest fashion set because the game also will provide you with free sets during certain parts of the year, and it's actually really beneficial, I think. So it's going to be really cool to see a lot of this new stuff come up in the mix. But today we're going to be just traversing through a lot of these newer maps, and I will just kind of give a little bit of my thoughts about the designs and how I feel about them coming into the game and what I expect to continue to come through the game. So today we're going to be training and traveling and going through the maps. Here we actually are at Extended Helen. There was a few parts that were added into Extended Helen, and let me see if I can find them. It's these two maps right here. So we're going to go to this map first, and then we're going to try and just find our way into it here. This map was recently, I don't think this map was recently added, but it doesn't have the greatest spawn rate, but it is a really good layered map. Same thing with this one. This is a newer map. Most people will literally die trying to fight in here. It's crazy how hard these mobs hit. Why I'm surviving is simply because I have on a full set of demon armor, which I will also make a video about. But this is a really cool place to come farm. This is where Kings Go the Destroyers are. These monsters look really cool, and not only that, they provide massive amounts of EXP in my opinion. So they're super, super awesome. All right, next up is a set of maps I've not seen before. Where exactly is this? Is this in Prunus Mines? This is in Helen. This is a part of Extended Helen. I don't think I've ever seen these maps before. What else we got in here? Yo. Yeah, these maps are giant. I never knew about these down here. It's a good thing that I came to come check them out. Yeah, no, these maps are giant, and it looks like, you know, there will be really good party maps. I think that eventually WonderKing will start to get into a more party map based thing, because I feel like that in itself will be something to really see in this game for sure. And this looks like it's the end of it there. I'm not too sure what the treasure chest was about, but I broke it and I didn't get anything, so I'm sure it has something to do with something that's going to be happening in the future or something. But I think I've seen one or two of those around the game here. Yo, the respawn rate in here ain't that bad though. That's one thing I'll say. The respawn rate in here is actually kind of fire. If you're looking for a place to train, this might just be it. But you have to like train manually though. This place got some decent respawn rate, it looks like. That ain't bad. That ain't bad. Well, okay, that's enough of that for right now. Let's get back to the Kings Go Destroyers. I don't think that there was a map for this. I think that it's an underground part of Extended Helen. Let's head on to the Frost Snowfields. Oh, I don't know how that happened. All right, let's get going. All right, so here we are at the Frost Snowfields. This place looks pretty neat. I actually kind of like this. There's not really much to say about it though, because the maps are extremely large. I don't think that anybody's going to be able to like actually grind here. It's going to be a little concerning, to be fair with you. I think that for right now, this is not going to be optimal at all. But let's go to the next map here. This one might not be so bad. This one looks very trainable. This might be like a start off map for most people. I think that that one's going to be pretty good. Again, with the very spaced out design, like I don't think any class is going to be able to train here besides like a wizard or something like that. Like I just don't think it's going to happen. But I do think that eventually it's going to be pretty nice. Okay, so there's that map. And that's it. Is that really it? That seemed pretty fast. That seemed pretty quick to go through the Snowfield. But hey, I might have missed some maps. But in general, like a lot of those maps are really spaced out from what I've understood. So like you're not really missing out on much here. All right, let's go to the next area, which is the Prunus Mines. This place is pretty cool. I actually really enjoy the Prunus Mines because this place has space for people who need to leech. So there's a lot of really cool ledges and stuff like that where places where you can actually just start to farm for people who are less level or new to the game. We'll see leeching start to come back when this becomes a part of the meta. I wouldn't say that this is going to be meta until like maybe 6 to 8 months from now, but people can literally just sit up here and just have somebody come like kill mobs or whatever. And this is a high yield area too, so it's actually really, really nice. Another really good place to come train in Prunus Mines is in Workshop A. Workshop A is actually really nice because it has these slag worms. This is where I'll be training next. I'd still need some damage to come train here first. I need to get to the 1 to 3 tap range first before I start trying to train. But for right now, I think that I'm in a relatively decent spot. But again, there's more ledges for people to come leech. So, you know, whenever it happens, it'll happen. And I'm excited for that because that's good because now they've, you know, kind of reorganized leeching and put it back into the game at a point where it will be level, I think. So it's good to see it come back overall. And one more little pit stop in the Prunus Mines. We're going to stop off at this last map here, and we're going to come over and fight to the boss Obsidia. At the top of this right here, you will find the field boss. From now on, after you defeat the boss cavern and you want to come fight Obsidia, she'll be on the very last map of the Prunus Mines. This is the boss that is after the level 1000 boss in the boss cavern. So if you haven't defeated that boss, you will not be defeating this boss. There's a long way to go. I don't even think that the top player at the moment has actually defeated this boss at the moment. So, you know, whenever we get the chance, we'll find out and discover when that actually happens. I'm sure somebody will make a video or make a post about it, but yeah, for right now, this boss remains undefeated. This is the 1200 boss, and we've already went to the Frost Snowfield. There is no boss in this, or actually no, there is a boss in the Frost Snowfield. If you come to the very last map in the Frost Snowfield, let's go back over there, you will find Lupina, which Lupina is the 1300 boss. So I know I got the areas mixed up, but pretty much as you can see, there is a field boss here. This field boss is stronger than the field boss I just previously showed. And not only that, but there is not really much of a drop table or anything like that that has been exposed as to what they drop at the moment. So we're still waiting on confirmation on a few things with that. So at the moment, these areas are not necessarily null. You can come and train here, but you won't get what you're expecting to get out of these areas. Next up, we've got the White Village. This is probably my favorite design place so far. Mostly because I like the monster designs here. I know that it's mostly just hooded warriors with capes and bows and stuff like that, and you know, things of that nature. But one thing that I wanted to note here is that while you're fighting here, you will actually sometimes get, I'm not too sure what you would call it. It's not really a stun, but it's more of like a stagger. Like you just can't move your character for a second. And sometimes it depends on the map too. Whenever I see these maps, I just kind of like, it opens up the amount of vibrance that WonderKing usually has, because over time it's been known to be a relatively dark game, you know what I mean? Like, you won't really find a lot of really interesting spots. This is a really good, interesting grind spot. I think this will be a really nice grinding spot coming up soon. If the respawn rate's good, then we should definitely be using a map like this for map grinding. All right, let's keep going. I don't think there's a boss, so you want to come to this map right here. This is also another really good trading map for, you know, archers and shadowers alike, so I would definitely do that for sure. This map is going to be really good, I think. All right, so out of the White Village, we're going to head over to the Wonder Farm next. Here at the Wonder Farm, over at the Wonder Farm, man, this map also is really cool too. I like that they're now starting to use a lot more of the brighter colors. I love the look of this area, man. It's very wooded. The aesthetic goes really well with WonderKing, in my opinion, and I'm glad that it's here. But I'm like, where's the portal? It's sitting right here in front of my face. The level in the area that we're at. Whoa, look at these mobs. These mobs look cool. Yo, these mobs look awesome. But it's not a training map though, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think this will be a training map. Maybe they, you know, made one kind of trainable. This one might be better, but again, I don't think that there's so far been a grinding map that I would say is a decent grinding map so far. Yeah. We just kind of skip through this one. I like the frog design too. The frog design is actually kind of neat, but it seems like it's going to continue to follow that trend of not really being a super grindable stage, and that's fine too, because honestly, like, with the amount of maps between Noctua Swamp and White Village, I think that there's going to be some really neat things that are going to pop out. But here's the last map in the Wonder Farm, and this is the 1500 level boss. This is Gamakichi. Gamakichi is going to be another really tough one. I think that this one, I believe, stuns or something like that, but I also don't think that they added in every single movement that they're supposed to have either. So we'll be seeing, you know, just in the near future, if they do decide to add more to the bosses, or, you know, if they do additionally update the loot tables. But for right now, we don't know exactly what they drop or anything like that. All right, so now that we're done here at the Wonder Farm, let's go ahead and head on to Dashburten Mining Station. Oh, this is the last map. I think we're going to circle around to the first one first. Let's just walk through the Dashburten Mining Station. So pretty much in order for you to get here, you need to go through the mines. Yo, this map ain't bad. This map isn't bad at all. Yeah, I would love to start farming here. That'd be great. Anywho, you come through that map there, and now you're inside the mines. This honestly is pretty neat. I like this design. I'm loving the inside of this cave. They use really nice colors and textures. I think that it looks aesthetically pleasing. One thing that I would do to make it a little more live, like I said earlier, would be to put some background kind of stuff in there, like, you know, maybe a flickering light inside of this little house or something, like just little small things like that to just, you know, make it more lively. You know, maybe have one of these just have the flare lit but not actually go off. Add some flash to these hot stones. Just little small things like that I think would, you know, liven up these maps for sure. But as far as going through it for a training map, I think this one might also be a good AoE training map. It looks like there's going to be some decent AoE training maps in here, but it's not going to be for every class. Like, Zenicider is going to struggle to deal with this. Oh, there's the boss. I forget what this guy's name is. I think his name is literally Slave Manager right now. Like, I think it's like Mining Slave Manager or something like that. But yeah, this is the 1600 boss. This guy was just added in on the first. Again, we don't know what he has, but it's just really cool to see them in action and just to kind of see what they do when they're attacking. And, you know, it gives you a little bit more information just being able to, you know, walk through and actually see all this stuff. All right, last but not least is the Dashburten Estate. Let's go ahead and take a look through this one. So this is a map that's similar to the hard wall. This might be considered an extension to the hard wall. It looks like they're still trying to get the maps together, in my opinion, but maybe you get through the hard wall to get to the inside of the castle to the Dashburten Estate. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Hey, this map might not be so bad. A lot of these maps are just, there's a lot of monsters on them. But my concern really is the respawn rate. If the respawn rate's good, then we're good. But for right now, we really are a lot in the air with a lot of this stuff. But look at these mob designs, man. I actually really like the Dashburten mobs. They kind of hurt a little bit too. Like, they're kind of hitting. Like, keep in mind, guys, like, I have on pretty much end game gear. Like, I have the newest gear in the game that's available. It's decently upgraded. And not only that, I have a few of the mana stones too. So that kind of helps out. That's why I'm able to just walk through these areas and not die immediately, is because I'm actually prepared for it. But here in the Dashburten Estate, we have just found the boss. This is the Grand Duke. This is my favorite. This is my favorite boss so far. Outside of Obsidia, this is my favorite boss. It's literally between this one and Obsidia. These boss designs are so nice in this game. I love every single thing about these games. And this is the last map. I don't think we visited this map because it's on a little bit of a tear off. but this map also is a bit spaced out. I don't know if anybody would train here, but it really just depends on how much EXP they give. At level 1660, I can only imagine that they're giving at least 500 trillion EXP per kill, right? Something along those lines. But yeah, that's just a little bit about that. I think that all these new maps and designs are actually really cool. I don't think that they really added in new sounds or new music or anything, but if they add in new music, like WonderKing will definitely be going in the right direction. I think that that's one thing that WonderKing is missing is new music. It needs new music. It needs more accessibility and quality of life. It needs a higher storage space. PvP needs to return because PvP in 2D games just completely died out of nowhere and it sucks. I hate that it happened like that, but they should add it back in a way that it makes sense. Like giving people, like there should be bots pretty much, in my opinion. I think that just bots would make the PvP experience 10 times better. Even if you can't find somebody, you at least have a good time fighting a bot that, you know, has the information of somebody's character and they'll be able to do it. Kind of how Soul Guardians did it. If you can do it like Soul Guardians did it, then it would be perfect. I can't even stress that enough. But yeah, you guys, that is pretty much WonderKing in a nutshell right now. Those are all the new maps. I do think that in general, there's going to be a lot of really cool and interesting gameplay that's going to be coming up this year and a lot of new things that are going to add into the mixture of what WonderKing will be whenever we get the chance. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I love making these WonderKing videos for you guys. You guys have been showing so much support for all the guides that are on Reddit. Check out Reddit. There's nothing but the best guides over there for WonderKing. I've been doing nothing but all of the research for the game that I possibly can do. Not really many people talk about the game at the moment because it is still heavily in development, but it's just good to get these kind of videos out there so that people kind of understand and know that yes, right now WonderKing is in development. It will be coming to the West soon, but for right now, there's too much development going on for anybody to say what's going to happen first. Anyways, thank you guys for watching the video. Comment, like, subscribe, and thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.